Welcome back. Let's talk about research reliability and validity. I will be focusing more on the statistical part, on the quantitative part of research in this presentation. And in the previous videos, I talked about research reliability and validity. If you have not listened to these videos, I recommend that you also have time, give yourself some time, and listen to these videos. Um, Research validity and research liability are normally found in two chapters, or we expect you to address issues of reliability and validity in the methodology chapter and in the data presentation chapter. In the methodology chapter, you are mainly telling us what you intend to do, but in the presentation chapter, you are explaining to us, you are demonstrating to us, you are giving us the numbers, the statistics from different statistical packages that measures either validity or reliability. Then it's very important for you to know that data can be reliable and at the same time not valid or fail to meet the research validity. It is because that in reliability we measure the consistency of an instrument in gathering data, and in validity we are actually measuring whether the instrument has collected the data that answers our research questions or that supports our hypothesis. So if the data that we have collected does not answer the question, then it means we have got data which is not valid to us. The data is not useful to us, although it can be consistent, but that data is not really useful to us. And I explained that in the final chapter, you are supposed to tell us about the methodological limitation, and the validity and reliability also form part of that chapter. So you can tell us about this inconsistency in your data in that methodological limitation. What could have caused that? And we have got number one, lack of training. In the event that you are using some research assistant to gather data for you, there might be issues with the inconsistency or some errors, and especially if you do not train people well. Then we have got language issues. You need to make sure that even you are administering your questionnaire to the English speaking people, it's very important that you make sure that you use the words that they are common words, basic words, so that everyone understands. And especially for the for those respondents that does not speak English and you want to administer an English questionnaire to them, you need to make sure that you find a way to ensure that your respondent they actually understand what happens or what your questionnaire is asking and what they are expected to answer. Then errors during data collection, you need to make sure that you train your field workers, train the assistant to make sure that we minimize issues of error during data collection. Then the sample size, and the sample size and or the population is very important, that whenever you are collecting data you use the right population or right target population. If you are investigating about teaching mathematics in high school, you cannot go and sample primary school teachers, otherwise your data won't be valid. Then you also need to ensure that your theoretical framework is actually in line with your instrument. If the theoretical or conceptual framework are not in line with your questions, are not in line with your theories, are not in line with your study, then the data that you might collect might also be invalid, or we might have some inconsistency in data collection. Then also unclear questions and hypotheses. We need to ensure that our questions are very clear every time when we are collecting data. We don't need to overemphasize a question, otherwise it will make the respondent to change their initial responses. And it's very important that we learn the technique of asking questions in an interview, especially if you are interviewing people, so that at the end of the day we continuously get constant answers as we go. Then the statistical packages for reliability, I talked of Cronberg alpha coefficient. This is the most common the most common software that we use when we are measuring the reliability of our instrument. So it's very important for you to get used to get familiarized with this Cronberg Alpha, because this is the most common. There might be other packages out there that you can also use. If you're not a statistician, go and ask statisticians. They can also tell you if there are some packages to use and how you are supposed to use and when to use those packages. Then for validity, this one we have got multiple packages that we use to test for validity, but you don't necessarily need to use all those packages. Just to use a few of the packages, 1 or 2 packages are fine, are okay. And you need to explain to us why you are using those packages and what other scholars are also saying who also have used those packages in doing what you are doing or in checking for validity. And I talked about the Pearson correlation coefficient, the factor analysis, that is the exploratory factor, and the confirmatory factor analysis. These are 2 or 3 most common validity measures in statistics. Then we have got the normality test. How well is our data distributed, normally distributed? And it's very important for you to understand why we do that. Why do we check for all those normality and the test normality, whether our data is normally distributed or not? The main reason is if our data is not normally distributed, then we have to go for the alternatives. We have to go for non-parametric statistics packages, which does not require our data to fit normality. So it's very important for you to make sure that you use the correct statistics whenever you are running a statistical dissertation, or you are carrying out a statistical dissertation, is to avoid a lot of criticisms or from different people. So yes, thank you for listening to this video. Don't forget to subscribe and to share with other people. Thank you.